Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports, ladies and gentlemen, for yet another live stream. And today we are here to talk about India versus Afghanistan. As India got off to a flying start in the World Cup by getting over Australians by 6 wickets, and Afghanistan on the other end went on to lose against Bangladesh by 6 wickets as well. So this is an entertaining game because all is set on the eyes are on Virat Kohli as he's back at his home ground. And obviously, there's a battle to talk about, which is Naveen Hulak versus Virat Kohli. Because this contest, more than India Afghanistan, is rotating over Naveen Hulak versus Virat Kohli. Because finally, Naveen is in King's Den or King's Kingdom, as one would like to say. And here it is in Delhi, in Arun Jaitley Stadium. India are playing their second game of the World Cup. Antariksh, welcome on the stream, man. I mean, great start for India, and they would like to continue from where they left off, isn't it?
Absolutely. Big game to start off against Australia, and we just made an easy peasy out of it, and a very good start, a very composed start by us. And now we face Afghanistan in the only match at Delhi, which is India in it, which was probably my only chance of watching India. So that's obviously gone. But no. Uh, Afghanistan would be looking to make their mark because we've seen with Netherlands coming into the tournament, like they have played. I mean, of course, the results haven't gone their way, but they have given a fight. Like they're not
Yeah,
getting bundled out or just participating. They're giving teams a run for their money, right? So they're
yeah,
getting to those scores of 250, 260
yeah.
pretty decently. So Afghanistan would like to take a step up from that and actually challenge
Yeah,
teams for every 2 points that are conceded.
yeah,
So it's going to be a very interesting atmosphere. We know the Afghanistani team gets a lot of love here from India. They
yeah,
have their base camp set up here in this country as well. They
yeah,
are, I could say, the second home team, if I'm allowed to say so, because they play
yes.
most of their cricket here,
Yeah, they
right?
play most of it in
So
Noida, not far away from Arun Jaitley Stadium.
exactly, Noida, and now they've shifted, I guess, to
Dehradun.
Dehradun or something,
Yeah,
right? So northern Indian conditions and everything, so that sets them up pretty decently. So it's going to be interesting to see. And India again, of course, we're missing Shubman Gill, but it's going to be interesting. Do we stick with the same 11? Do we stick? There are questions on Ishan Kishan. Apart from that, composed knock against Pakistan, which seems to be like a long time ago now. There have been sort of some questions here and there about him. So that remains to be seen as well. And as you said, Naveen ul Haq, I mean, welcome to the battlefield now, and let's see how that fares well now.
absolutely. I mean, there is one thing we talk about the Afghanistan team that they're very mercurial in nature, especially in T20 format. But when you talk about the one-day format, they still are there to make a mark for themselves because they come very close and lose games. And I was very disappointed the way in which they played against Bangladesh as well because
Yeah.
I think it was a Sri Lankan warm-up game. They looked extremely good. They chased down against Sri Lanka. But after that, to capitulate like that, the way they did, I mean, I was very upset at the fact that they're a much better team than what they showed to be. But here for India, I mean, using that particular start which India had against Australia, which is 2 for 3, which was the worst nightmare for any Indian fan out there, right? You would have had these nightmares and sleep saying that, oh my god, I'm just gonna say India, let's just not be 2 for 3 or 5 for 3. But it just happened to be true. But India got over that. And we've seen it often with historic history as well. How when a team gets over such situations and goes on to win a game, that really makes them to have the belief that they can win from any situation from there on. You think that's going to be an added bonus going into this game or for the tournament as such?
Absolutely. And one player that comes to my mind, of course, apart from the obvious ones, is KL Rahul. I mean, the scrutiny he was under before his injury, then he probably
Yeah,
got injured at the worst possible time because he didn't have a reply for all the scrutiny that he got. And now the way he's performing, look at this, like that's the ironical thing about stats. You could find like a dozen stats of KL Rahul about his strike rate, his average, his intent, and everything. And now when
yeah,
he's back on song, he probably has the best stats a batsman could ask for. And his hilarious reaction is going viral after he hit the ball too perfectly when he just
yeah.
wanted to hit it for a
For
boundary
the
rather
100,
than a
yeah,
six. So that was that was pretty interesting. But look at these stats: 13 innings, 628 runs, 78.5 ka average with a decent strike rate of 87. They say
yeah,
in ODI cricket, if the average and the strike rate you combine and it's more than 145, you're on the right track. And this guy's
Yeah,
crosses around 160. So there you go, 550s and 100. Hot
yeah,
form in 2023, 13 innings, which most of them have come recently, which is the good thing.
yep.
So really, really sort of like he has made himself a very important player in a short amount of time. Like considering all of the confusion and the ill transparency that was going throughout the scene, but he has just made us compose. Suddenly, we feel like a well-balanced squad with him and at number 4, number 5, wherever he tries to slot in. So very, very good. And yeah, that काफी दारोमदार ले लिया इसने and yeah, good.
I mean, one thing which I've always spoken about is why we need solidity in the middle order in the one day format. And I
Yeah,
always believe that you need solidity and a player who can take or up the ante as well. I think KL Rahul provides both for you. He
yeah,
can survive a ship. He can steady his ship when it's 5 for 3 or 2 for 3, which he did. I mean, that is the most you can ask from any middle order bat. What is the worst situation you want to walk into? And that dude was taking a shower while all this was happening. And that's very funny
yeah,
because if you remember 1983 World Cup, there's a story that Kapil was taking a shower when India was
yeah.
17 for 5 or 9 for 4. Similarly, KL Rahul was taking a shower. He did not even expect, as he mentioned in an interview with Virat Kohli post the game as well. He thought at least there'll be 4 5 overs, it'll be survived, but not to walk in at 1.4, 1.3 overs. Now, that's one good thing about KL Rahul that he have also had opened the batting in multiple locations. He's a test match opener, bona fide test match opener, scored in 100, who has scored hundreds in South Africa, England, Australia. So for him, even if it's a moving condition to walk in at 5 for 3 or 2 for 3 or whatever it is, he still can handle that. And that's what bonus about this particular KL Rahul, isn't it? Walking for her, having him at middle order at number 5, where on a bad day you are losing a lot of wickets, he can come in a job. He can come in and do a job which an opener does in most of these conditions.
Absolutely, and that's his versatility. Now, although Indian team has been reluctant to pick him out as his opener because anytime there is a tweak between Shubman and Rohit, it's always
Yeah,
Ishan Kishan who has gotten there. But as you said, the skill set never hides itself. It is there. We know even in ODIs he's opened, in T20s he's opened for his not club came to my mouth
Punjab,
the Punjab
IPL,
or
IPL France.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, IPL exactly. So he's done that there. Even while he was up and coming for Bangalore and stuff, he did that sometimes. And also, as you say, a bona fide test opener with big scores across the world, across the globe. So he has the skill set, and you know what? It's always good to have that because we obviously have number 3 setters Virat Kohli. But if and when you want someone like, okay, wickets gir gayi, kya kare, ab kya kare? Rather than maybe how we saw Shreyas Iyer maybe testing out his temperament way too early, you could send
yeah,
someone like KL Rahul, who's
yeah.
much more sort of varied with the new ball, with the opening mindset and stuff. So काफी अच्छा है. It's very good to have that player in your locker, and he becomes very important, very very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. But let's talk about the captain himself, Rohit Sharma, because he's been slowly in a slight bit of jitters recently, and we've seen that, especially when the ball is moving in, or especially when he's up there new in the crease, he tends to be a suspect for the LBWs. And today as well, he will have to face a Fazal Faruqi, who's a left arm pacer who's done well in multiple conditions, and he can be a genuine threat against him as well. And to add to that, Ishan Kishan, it is going to be very important for Indian openers to give the start. I know when you had Shubman Gill opening the batting for you, and this was unfortunate way. You never know. No, you did not expect Shubman Gill not to be starting the World Cup, and you do not expect this dengue to come at the worst possible way. And we don't know how long this is going to go on for. People are saying that he might be only returning for the Bangladesh game on the 19th. That's a long day off from here on. But just to add to that, Rohit Sharma himself will want to go out there and do well as well, because remember, he'd want to set the tone. And remember, India's Shreyas Iyer, Rohit Sharma, and Ishan Kishan are still yet to get off the mark in this World Cup, because whereas in the last World Cup, the first match in itself, Rohit Sharma set the tone by scoring that 100.
Absolutely, you're absolutely spot on there. And you know what? Seeing a bit of Rohit Sharma dismissals, I was looking at them like maybe day before yesterday, I was seeing some of his dismissals, him getting bored. I think while it's through this left arm thingy and the ball coming in, I think it's the ball coming in general. Like if you
Yeah,
look, of course, we won't recall it much, but I take my word for it. Like a lot of his test match dismissals, you know what? Even though they were right-handers, it's just the ball that comes in, but
right.
it's the late swing that really gets him. So if it's swinging in the air, he has that beautiful natural flow of the bat that can just hook it away, pull it away, or just flick it from his pads, because whenever it's middle and leg, he can do that. But when it's sort of pitching on seam and then moving in inside, that is when Rohit Sharma really faces a trouble. And of course, more often than not, the in swinger to Rohit Sharma is bowled by the left armers, hence why we see those stats. But if you remember the last game, Hazelwood, if I'm not wrong, the
Yeah,
same ball, it was the ball coming in,
yeah.
at least from the angle and stuff, and that got Rohit Sharma. So it's the ball coming in general which really troubles him. The late seam, the late movement.
But to
Hopefully
be very
that.
fair, those balls will trouble anyone in the world because once you have seam movement off the deck, it's very tough to adjust if you're a high quality pace bowler who's bowling in excess of 135 clicks. That's where I personally think Rohit Sharma has, I don't think there's a technical deficiency per se. I still
Yeah,
think those kind of balls will trouble any batter in the world. You saw in the second innings while India were batting, when Virat Kohli was batting especially, there were some similar balls when Virat
yeah,
Kohli, it did miss Virat Kohli as well. It hit him high on the pad. But,
bad.
if you are unlucky, you might just get on right, you might get struck online with the pads. But on other days, you might just, you might just get out and you might just go off. So that's what I'm trying to say, You need to have an element of luck as well, especially you're facing a high quality pacer and trying to survive them. But Rohit Sharma is way too good of a player not to set this World Cup on fire. And I still think Rohit Sharma has got a lot to contribute in this World Cup.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. He'll be so pivotal, and especially, I mean, Shubman Gill kab aayega, kab nahi aayega, but there's another big question mark that comes up. Would he be the Shubman Gill that we saw in the Asia Cup or before that again? Because dengue drains your body, guys. Like
Yeah,
any
yeah,
sort of this illness, that it just drains you of all the, like, probably you lose a lot of muscle, you lose a lot of strength and everything. There's a lot of complication that goes behind it. So it's not you recovered and you're on the pitch. So you need such a recovery time. Then you need to be match fit. It's not us. It's not me and Abel. We'll go to play cricket in our
yeah,
gullies. It's then
yeah.
you have to be match fit and then be eligible enough. So I mean, it's going to be a long way back for him. Let's hope. I don't remember. We have this long gap between two games. Is it after this one or after the next game?
No, we
I,
actually don't have a lot of gap. In 3 days' time, we
I
play Pakistan. 5 days' time,
I
we
think
play
we have a
Bangladesh.
6 7 days का एक बार है हमारा, if I'm not wrong.
I have to check on that. But whatever I remember, we play Pakistan on 14, 19 Bangladesh,
Okay,
23rd, if
yeah,
I'm
this
not
is
wrong, against New Zealand in Dharamshala. 26th, we go to Pune. So it's a very packed schedule from what I know.
it is, it
Until
is,
unless
it
it's
is.
towards the end of the tournament, from what I remember.
Yeah, it is 3 4 5 5 days maximum. You're right. So, oh my, I mean, it's on the riskier side of the pendulum. But wait, that is what we were emphasizing on. Case ki wajah se Rohit Sharma ka, the presence that he has to offer now becomes so much more valuable. He was settled in. So there were some reports that we might have to call some of the openers that have gone into the Asian games,
Yeah.
playing there in China. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe not. But Rohit Sharma just becomes so much more valuable with that, and hopefully he does at least अपना खाता खोलता है इस game में. But more than that, he does well.
Absolutely. I mean, for Rohit Sharma as well, he might be feeling the pressure. One thing which you saw when Shubman and Rohit were batting was that they complemented each other. If Shubman
Yeah,
got off to good starts, Rohit could take his time. Or when Rohit got off to good starts, Shubman could take his time. Now, that's
yeah,
one thing which Rohit Sharma will feel the pressure about. Remember, Ishan got out in the very first over, or if I
yeah.
remember, it did a couple of balls from there on. So you cannot afford to lose a wicket there and thereabouts, then expect Rohit Sharma to just ease out things. It's never easy, and that pitch was extremely hard as well. I thought that was a very poor shot making from Ishan Kishan to go after Mitchell Stark. I understand if you're playing maybe a lower class bowler in a very flatter surface, but he played Mitchell Stark in the World Cup and the ball is moving around. And for him to flash hard at it, I mean, that's why temperament is a very big factor. In these kind of conditions, you will have to assess the conditions very well. Whether can I go for that, blooming drive and then get nicked out, or should I take my time a little bit because I still can make up for this? Because Ishan Kishan has got that ability. If he would have been there, let's just say after fifth over, sixth over, he still can make up for it. And that's what you saw with Virat and KL, especially the time they took up front. The first 10 overs, we were 29, 30. And from there on to just build on it and to chase it down. At the end of the day, it was just 200 runs to chase. But the temperament they showed is what separated them from the boys, you can say so. The classy players and the normal players get separated in temperament. And temperament is such an underrated facet in cricket. We often
Absolutely.
talk about it in Test cricket, but in one day cricket as well, temperament
Yeah.
is a massive factor.
Oh, absolutely. Even in T20s, like this is what cricket. That's why it's such a beautiful game that तुम 10 ओवर का बना लो, there'll still be phases in the game, man, wherein you need temperament more than you need technique more than shot making or explosive power, because maybe that phase of the game keeps reducing as the number of overs keep going down, but there's still that phase of the game wherein you need, all right, you need to give due respect to the bowler, be ready to slash hard and wide when it's not when it's in your arc, but again, be respectful to the balls that do deserve, and especially when you're starting out such wide, the ball swinging in the air, the pitch is favoring the seam bowlers. So just let it go. It's the first ball, and more than that, it was also Shreyas Iyer shot, man. It was just such a disappointment, and Shreyas Iyer has just made a habit of this. He never gets outclassed by the bowler. It's not a praise for Shreyas Iyer. It is just that he throws his wicket away much before that. And I've seen this closely while being in KKR, while him being in KKR as well. And now for the Indian team, he just gives himself room and he slashes hard on the offside every time. And he
Yeah.
times it so sweetly but straight to the man. But kitni baar, matlab kitni baar hum bolenge he's unlucky, this and that. You have to maybe not time the ball as well, but try to place it. Then I don't know, man, because a wicket at the end of the day. And
I think
you know what?
similarly with
Ironic.
Shreyas Iyer as
Go
well,
on,
temperament
go
is a
on, go on.
major factor for him.
Exactly, temperament's a major factor. And you know what? Ironically enough, this World Cup has shown us that while we all are running after big scores and 350 seems like nothing nowadays, it's still that old phenomenon of keeping wickets in hand. If you have wickets in hand, we saw this in the game against South Africa and Sri Lanka, if you remember.
Huh.
South Africa posted. So, like, South Africa were in a similar situation, like all the teams probably are in the 35th, 36th over, that they were around 200, 240, and 35 overs have gone. But the only difference was they only lost 2 wickets, right? So what they did was they then piled on and doubled their score and almost went to 430, 440, right? For 429, 428. But what happens is with Sri Lanka, we saw
Yeah.
yesterday, they were at a similar score, but then they lost wickets. After
Wickets. Yeah.
Samara Vikrama, fell off, then there was Asalanka, De Silva, Sanaka, all were just
Yeah.
looking to hit
Yeah.
too early, and then they just went off. Rotating the strike becomes so important. And then they were bundled out to 350. And we
Yeah.
saw Pakistan did the exact opposite. They were steady. They were going 5.8, 6 run rates, decent enough. And then they just absolutely made the chase pretty easily. So as far as runs go, there's still that old saying: you need to have wickets in hand.
Yeah.
You keep a run rate of 5.5 till the 35th over. You actually could at least not double, but uske aaspaas you could do that to your score if you have 7, 8 wickets in hand. So that becomes very important, and Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan are going to play a major role in that. So if they keep falling to these temperamental issues, it's going to be hard for us.
True. I mean, that is where I still think, if we can just take a little bit of time and then get going, because with Shreyas Iyer, the plethora of talent he's gotten, that's just
Mhm.
impeccable. You cannot just
Exactly.
look at Shreyas Iyer and say, okay, this guy cannot do a job. I mean, often we have spoken about his technical deficiency with short ball. I think he's tried to overcome it, and he's looked much better since his comeback from injury, at least. I mean, and from whatever we're getting out of the nets as well, he's been working on that particular area of
Yeah.
concern, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing about a player. And Rahul Dravid is there and thereabouts to help him out. You have some of the best support staff in the world to help you out. So I don't think that should be a major concern. But today, talking about concerns, India will have to face a concern that is a massive factor. That is Rashid Khan, isn't it? I mean, what a player he is. I mean, when you talk about one day cricket, we don't talk about it much, but in one day cricket as well, he's such a superstar. We did counter Adam Zampa pretty well, but the bigger leg spinner threat is going to be Rashid Khan, because he's an all-round package. What he brings in, the kind of ability he's gotten to change a game on its head. It could be one over which Rashid Khan balls and he can turn the game on its head, and that is the ability which this guy carries. A live wire on the field, and I think he's a decisive factor for India to deal with today as well.
Absolutely. With the bat, with the ball on the field, he's if there was a definition of a 3D, cricketer, it's him and probably Ben Stokes that come to my mind, because we've seen in the T20s, like he even from the nets, as you called of Shreyas Iyer, it reminded me of Rashid Khan. He plays all these scoops and all these knacky shots in the nets, and that's what comes out of the Afghanistani. team sessions that he tries to play all the scoops and stuff, and it's pretty funny that Rashid, but he attempts them pretty perfectly and he gets them so right. It's almost like he's Surya Kumar Khan or something like that. But no, but you know what, Rashid Khan. Probably the thing with him is the T20, because it's a 20 over game. You have to go after each and every bowler. You can't take out the 4 overs. So that's where Rashid Khan becomes even more dangerous when you're trying to attack him. But apart from that, even in, as you said, even in ODIs, like if you over respect him, he'll grow in stature, he'll grow in confidence, and then lead bowl all the variations in the world. If you over attack him, he has got the knack, he has got the skill to edge you one up in the air and then get you off. So it's he's a pretty great ambassador of cricket, to be honest. And yeah, he's one of the main men of Afghanistan. We've seen the weak part, if I should say, of Afghanistan is their middle order that is lacking a bit of experience here and there. Their opening with has got a lot of experience and has got a lot of knack and potential. We saw they had a good start even against Bangladesh, but then failed to capitalize on that, and then they bundle out themselves for a low score of under 200, under 175. So and the bowling is again one of their main fortes. So he again becomes a very important part of that Afghanistan squad.
Absolutely. If you look at some of the top run getters of Afghanistan, since 2022, I'd say Ibrahim Zadran has done a good job, but in the World Cup, he still has to convert. Rahmanullah Gurbaz has been a hit and a miss. He can be explosive on days, but on other days he might not give you the consistency, and that's been
Yeah,
one of the bigger issues with Rahmanullah Gurbaz. And Najibullah Zadran has been, you can say, a very sad story. He's not been consistent at all. So that's Afghanistan for you. To be very fair, on good days they can be extremely good. On other days they can be slightly flat as well.
yeah,
But I think before we end, we should talk about Indian bowling as well. Who would set the match for India? We spoke about the batting, but then that Indian bowling effort was top notch. Let it be the fast bowlers in Bumrah, who was doing a phenomenal job towards the end, and even to give that start for India by picking up Mitchell Marsh, or in the middle overs with Jadeja, especially, and to add to that Kuldeep and Ashwin. Ashwin maybe would have been slightly disappointed that he did not pick up a couple of wickets, but still,
yeah.
that spin trio did a very good job. And even today, going into this game, I think Indian bowling will hold the aces. I know Afghanistan can be bowled out. Afghanistan is a mercurial team, as I mentioned, and they can be targeted if you're ready to pick up wickets against them.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on there. And on that, I would like to ask you a question first, and then we'll talk about. Do you think maybe Ashwin would be replaced this game? I mean, I don't think we'll go into the game with three spinners again. I think it was that particular pitch. So,
Yep.
do you think Shardul comes in for Ashwin?
I personally think yes, because I think Ashwin will be very much of a condition-based bowler, and today
Yeah.
he just might play today, but I still think he might not play against Pakistan, because against Pakistan
Hmm.
they would want to go in with that extra seamer again.
Hmm.
And today, if at all Ashwin plays, because Afghanistan I still believe a better place to spin than what they
Yeah,
might not play
exactly.
against pace as well. But remember, Afghanistan also struggled against Mehdi Hasan Miraj for that matter in the
Yeah.
last game, so it's an interesting conundrum. For me, if you ask me, I'd like to go with the same 11. You don't want to change a lot, because that gives a little bit of variety as well. Because Hardik is bowling for you, anyways. I know he did
Yeah.
not ball well in the last game, but he's still bowling and giving you overs with the ball, which is he can give you 7, 8 overs or 9 overs. Ashwin, if he can give you good 6 overs or 7 overs, and Jadeja a mix of that, I think it's a decent bowling attack. It covers a lot of bases with three spinners and three pacers.
Hmm. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Right. I don't really have an opinion much on it because, as you said, I'm tied between sticking with the same 11 and maybe this not being the pitch for three spinners. But you're absolutely spot on there that not much can go wrong either way. I think it's going to be the overall balance that's going to be more important. But yeah, as you were saying, I think of course Bumrah, the ever present, the ever reliable
Wait,
Bumrah.
can I ask you a question to that? Would you have Mohammad Shami against Afghanistan?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to come to that. The only thing that really pinches me is that maybe against Afghanistan, hopefully it won't be targeted that much. But 4 wicket ke baad we'd have Pandya, and then 5 wickets baad it's Jadeja who's not playing well, and then you add another guy down the order who can't bat much, which is Shami. Of course, he has shown glimpses that let's not go otherwise, but like a proper all rounder and stuff. That's the only thing that really pains me because you know what, like if we've seen with this World Cup, 350, 360, you want that, and if you have
Yeah.
wickets in hand, after 35 overs, 2-3 wickets. Wickets in hand, matlab kya? You only lost 2-3 wickets.
Yeah,
So even after when you've lost 2-3 wickets, you only 2 wickets down, and then you'd have Jadeja, who, to
yeah,
be honest, this time I don't trust much. So you'd have
yeah.
Jadeja and then someone else to finish the game, and then 1 wicket, 2 wicket baad you'd have Shami. So that really tells me कि थोड़ा सा और depth चाहिए, like थोड़ा सा और depth चाहिए. See, let's not be fooled by the concept of depth, because you know what, like we were hyping England up so much. Oh, their depth, this and that. Adil
Uh,
Rashid, Mark Wood, Sam Curran aren't doing much.
yeah,
They'll do it in one game, but it's the old phenomenon of if 6 batsmen can't do it, what would 5 bowlers slash all rounders do? That is it. But they're still giving those 5-10 extra runs, but not utna jitna hum unhe, we were putting them on a pedestal. Like we saw it against New Zealand, that they couldn't sort of take their score up until 380, 390, or 400, whatever was
yeah,
achievable at the time. So yeah, it's going to be
absolutely.
interesting. His bowling antics really tempt me ki Shami ko le lo, but the batting side of things just
And
it's
especially when you had lost 3 wickets in clumps like last time, you
exactly
would be slightly tentative enough to go for that move. I think
exactly
that's what's going to stop India from going with Shami, maybe throughout the World Cup for that matter, until unless there's an injury or you want to rest one of the fast bowlers. And unfortunate for Shami because way too good of a bowler to miss out on that opportunity. But
yeah
yeah, it's a question which India will be thinking again and again. I mean, I'm pretty sure India would have thought about that combination. India would really want to go with that combination, but you did not see India play that combination anywhere except that last ODI against Australia. If I remember, India went in with three proper fast bowlers, and you kind of saw a slide when India lost first 5 wickets as well. The bowlers couldn't do anything much. They just kept on falling and falling. So that's one major issue which India will have in their mind. And I think we are about to reach the toss time, so we will end the live stream right here, and we will go and enjoy the match as well. I hope you all enjoy the match, and hopefully that India gets over the line. We are here to enjoy that victory tomorrow. Thank you all for once again joining us, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel and also share this video with as many people as possible. And check out our Instagram page as well for all the latest sporting updates. And check out our courses with Mad About Sports. Remember, if you are a aspiring analyst who want to set a footing in the world of analytics, and especially you want to sit in a cricketing field in a dugout and call the shots, remember, a cricket analytics course has got a variety of opportunities for you working in a cricket company or working for a cricket team of your choice, of your favorite cricket team. So this is your opportunity to check out our courses with Mad About Sports in this World Cup. Have a very good time joining us more and more. Thank you and have a good time, all of you. Bye bye.